Hello, my friends. John LaRuffa here with another Straight Up Solo. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the White Castle with the Matcha expansion. Specifically, I'm going to talk to you about the Matcha expansion, what it does solo mode wise, etc., and how it makes the solo mode feel. Let's get started. Okay, folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you have, I really do appreciate that support. Thank you so much. So, what is this expansion doing? Okay, so first of all, it is adding effectively 3 more turns to the game, okay? Because you're still going to play 3 rounds, but instead of just 3 turns per round, you're going to play 4 turns per round. And that's because you have this expansion board down here with another bridge and green dice. So effectively, you've added another set to this game, or like I said, another 3 turns. And what does that practically help you do? Well, what it does is it helps you have more options to choose from instead of being so constrained. One thing I thought that the White Castle did really well was have a very constrained game. This gives you a little bit of breathing room, which in my opinion is not a bad thing at all, because sometimes I felt like I was so constrained that I couldn't figure out, how to do anything that was going to make a real difference. Okay? And so now, with the way this goes, it gives me more options, and I like that. And in general, I usually like more options in my games, period. And so that's what this does. It really kind of flushes out another set of things. However, the set of things feels very familiar. I will say that if you know how to play the White Castle, you almost already know how to play all the expansion too, because what you're doing is you're doing a maneuver here down in the tea garden that is extremely similar. It like combines a little bit of the situation here with the bridge action by going to the koi pond with a little bit of the castle progression by going down this tea track and ultimately trying to get into this pavilion. I can't remember what it's called, but this allows you to do bonus actions, but plus do multipliers for other things. And then it also has a similar action to this where you can go here and activate different things in these cards. Well, I'm sorry, this activates these spaces activate these 2 cards. Very similarly, if I go here, I get to do both of those. If I go here, I get to do both of those. And so you have this feeling that you're in very familiar territory. But it doesn't feel like it's just a retread because you have this stuff going on. You also have a 4th set of, I can't remember again what this is called, but your home action here. And this is not activated when you take something that does this one over here. So the only way to pull this off is to actually do this green action, and then you get all this. Plus, if you spend one of those daimyo symbols, you get to take this bonus, okay, and do that. Everything else is very much similar. Now, the other thing is it adds 3 more cards to the solo mode, okay? So it adds this green card, and this green card. And why is that important? 2 reasons. Number 1, these 2 cards actually penalize the solo bot by making him either lose 3 points to advance on this T track or lose all the coins they have to advance in this T track. That's the first thing. This one actually has him moving backwards on the priority track up there, which I think this is a very helpful thing. Now, these may not come up, or they may come up at inopportune times. So this one actually came up twice for me, but he didn't have any coins to lose, or he had 1 coin to lose. This one came up once and he had 3 points and he lost the 3 points. So it's still got some luck there. But I also found that because we had 3 more cards in here and more dice, it seemed like the vast majority of the time I was drawing a single card and being able to then activate it, meaning he took less turns. Now, that made a big difference because this is the first time I've been able to beat him, and I got 66, he had 51. And so I felt like just having this mode in play made it much more possible that it was a fair, balanced game. Now, I also thought I played a pretty good game. I was able to maximize 2 guys over here, maximize 2 guys over here, put in a bunch of guys up here. So I don't think I was just flailing along. I felt like my game, I was on probably one of the better games I've played. But still, at least I was able to beat him. In other cases, it would be like I'd lose by a ton. So what I think the best thing about this experience for me is is that I now feel like I have a fair solo game. Now, it could be very swingy, okay? But at least in my experience thus far, I found that it allows me to have a little bit more of a situation where I'm going to not just get clobbered. So that's what's going on. You've got this extra board, you've got 3 extra cards in the solo mode, you've got another one of these tracks here to work with, and this extra resource, which is the basically like the whisk, and this is what you use to do tea and such and move your guys around here. All right, so let me tell you what I think about it. So the White Castle is a very good solo game. It always was a very good solo game. It was fun to play, but I always felt like I was getting clobbered. The best thing about this expansion, I think, is that it makes me feel like I have a shot at beating the solo opponent, which is great. It finally feels fair. And for that reason, I think that this expansion is an essential expansion to get with the White Castle. Also, I think it provides just more of a robust experience. Okay, I didn't mind that the White Castle was so constrained, to be honest, before, but this kind of puts it into the sweet spot. Before, it was a lot of angst, like I just can't quite get the right turns. And here I have a few more options where I can still take the powerful turns if I think them through, but I've got a little bit more variety, a little bit more room to do some different things and to figure out how to pull the puzzle off and to get the chains. I also felt like in this game especially, the T-track and such would allow for some big chain moves. And that would allow me to take an action here, which would then open up an action here, which would allow me to do an action here. It just felt like I had a lot more chaining actions there, which was really good because it was like if I sort, if I suss out the best move, boy, they could be really strong moves. And it offered me the opportunity to get lots of resources and even like spend, basically pile in 3 actions into one, which was probably why my score was so good in this particular playthrough, because I did that several times. Anyway, I think that if you like the White Castle, you'll also like this expansion. They go hand in hand. And I think if you're a solo player, you'll like the fact that you don't get clobbered all the time. I don't think there's any reason not to get this expansion, to be honest, if you are a fan of the White Castle. If you weren't a fan of the original game, you thought it was too constrained, this might help. If you weren't a fan of the original game for other reasons, I don't think this will help because it's more of the same type of style thing. Like I said, it was very reminiscent of some of that like bridge feel and the ascending the track in the castle kind of feel. So either way, I really like it. So glad I have it. I just wish the box was bigger so I could put it in one box, but I'm going to split it up into 2. In general, just a very good score here. Very easy to play if you already know how to play the White Castle. And just high marks, high marks. This is a really, really good game, and it's enhanced, I think, by this expansion. So this expansion breathes some additional life into the game for me, but also gives me a little bit more breathing room itself to do what I'm looking to do, which is have a good game and win. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody, and whatever you do in the future, I really hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy.